Greetings everyone, and thank you for coming to another video in my YouTube channel, your YouTube channel at the end, right? I always try to do the videos and the reviews so you can use them, right? If you want or just try to learn something new. So today I have a quick hardware review, and at the same time we are going to see as well how to install Proxmox on a physical server. It's not going to be embedded into another hypervisor or anything like that. It's going to be installed on bare metal. So Proxmox is going to be the main hypervisor on this hardware, right? Why am I doing this to install Proxmox and not VMware or other hypervisors? At the moment, I'm just currently using or currently exploring other hypervisors just for my general knowledge, to try to improve and to try to learn more technologies, right? So for now, it's going to have Proxmox, but maybe in a near future, I'm going to move it to Microsoft Hyper-V with the new server 2025. We'll see. But for now, this video is just 100% for how quick hardware review, as I've said, and the how to install Proxmox. So what is the hardware that I bought? The hardware that I bought, I have it just right here. Let's see if I can show you. Let's take a look over here. So this is the server. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. So this server, it's a Supermicro. It's 1U. It's half of what it will be your traditional long 19 inches rack server, right? So it's still a rack server of 1U, but it's kind of like a half size of depth. This is the model. The model is a 5019D FTN4. It has an AMD inside of it, AMD EPIC. I can see it here on the other screen. AMD EPIC 3251. It has 8 cores and 16 thread. It's very, very nice. I have already 2 of them for the other cluster that I have for VMware. I've been using them on that other cluster for VMware, working 24/7 for a couple of years already. No problem whatsoever. The difference between Intel and AMD on these chipsets, that they come already kind of inside the motherboard, right? You cannot change the chip. So the difference that I notice, at least particularly because I still have another Supermicro, which is similar, a small factor, it's the performance. I found AMD performing much better, and there are a lot of load, or at least the load that I have, which is a traditional SQL Server applications, Microsoft Active Directories, Veeam, and and maybe some open source technologies on that clusters. I found the AMD hosts working much better. I found that they consume much less power, at least on my lab, and the temperatures as well, they have been absolutely fantastic. Same chassis, because I have the same chassis for other servers with Intel, and the temperatures for AMD, they are much better. So to the point that they are a difference of between 15 to 20 Celsius degrees on the same. I have them on the same rack. I have them on the same rack. It's cooled the same way, but I don't know. Just the AMDs, they just get less heat. I don't know why. So it has the motherboard itself. It's let me see if I can see the motherboard over here. Oh yeah, the motherboard is an M11 SDV 8Z LN4F. So that is the I'll leave it on the description anyways. That is the specific motherboard that this server has. I purchased this server on Server Factory. because I live in the UK. So this server factory, they are a very nice company here based in the UK, a Supermicro certified partner, and they have been my provider since I started buying hardware here in the UK. They're very nice. They send it very, very fast. They always test it before ship it to you, so you can you can be sure that everything is going to work. In the past, I have like an RMA for some RAM modules. No problem whatsoever. Just send them the email. I did a few tests that they asked me to do, the mem test, and they said like, yeah, the modules are wrong. Ship it back, and that's it. Very nice. So what does it? How does it look like? How does it look like inside? Well, let's take a look outside, right? So the difference between the Intels perhaps is that this has just 1 gig, right? And some models, and of course the IPMI here, some USB 3.0. The difference between the Intel ones is that the Intel ones, they usually have here like the 10 gig, and this model, it does not have 10 gig. For this cluster that I'm going to start, or at least one host, Proxmox, for now, the 4 gig, the 1 gig, they are enough for me. But the beauty of this specific model is that you can always add here like a PCI Express with 10 gig or fiber or whatever you really want. That's what I've done on the other models that I have on my rack, right? I just use this PCI Express for the 10 gig, like a dual NIC 10 gig. And that has been enough. I know that if you are trying to put now a GPU or something, this model perhaps is not the best, right? Because now you just have one PCI Express, and then you need to choose, right, between the graphics or the networking. But for my specific use case, once again, these models, they have been the best, like for real. Let's take a look what is inside this the chassis itself, right? Oh, by the way, you can just buy the same motherboard, but just put it on a different case, right? One of the boxes, right, with the cubes themselves, if you want. But I prefer this small factor like this. It's very nice. So let's take a look. Let me show you. So this is the motherboard right here. Let's take a look of what can we found over here. This has the power supply is over here. Some fans here at the top. I usually replace them with Noctua because the default ones that they came, they work very, very nice. They push the heat off of this of the motherboard because, as you can see, it's 1U, right? But I found them extremely noisy for what they do, and the Noctua, as you know, they're always fantastic. So I usually replace them for the Noctua. I'll do it in a few days. So this chassis is nice because it came with 4. You can put 4 2.5 SSDs over here, which is very nice because it has already, you just put them and that's it. Like some sort of hot swap or something. You cannot take them out, but you get the idea that they're very nice to put them over there. If you don't choose this case and you put a bigger case, a taller case, then you can just put the one fan on top of the heatsink, and then the temperatures will be much better, of course, because you just kind of put in the air out of the heatsink. But anyways, because I have this over here, it's just they're going to handle this very nicely, right? And then it has here the 4 modules of RAM. I just started for this lab. I started with 1 RAM module, but I'll buy the other 3 when the cluster needed or when the host needed itself. This is 32 gigabytes of RAM already. This motherboard, it supports, it says here on the website of Supermicro, up to 512 gigabytes of ECC DDR4, which is absolutely mental. I've never seen models like this that beefy. Perhaps because the cost of the modules, right? It will be a bit obscene. The 128 gigs of RAM per module. But I have all my other hosts. They have 128, right? So I just have 4 modules of 32, and I'm very happy with that configuration. and the ratio between 16 cores and 128 gigs of RAM, I find it very nice, right? Because at the end, that's probably what all of this is about. And then I already ordered to the guys at Supermicro, the server factory. I ordered the riser over here, so I have already, the PCI Express module. I have it already prepared to install it over here. And that's another thing, right? So if you put the well, depends of how big is it's the card that you plug over here. You might have some challenges with the discs over here, but if it's like really low profile, you will not have any problem because you have a space for everything here. Of course, this has similar to the Intel ones. You can just put like an M2 over here, and if I remember correctly, it was another one. But well, anyways, I can just see already like this is one over here, and I ordered already the Supermicro, the SATA DOM, right? So this is specifically for the operating system. This is where I'm going to install Proxmox, right? So this is, if I'm not mistaken, let me take a look right now. How big is this? 32 gig? It might be 32 gig, but you can order them in different sizes, right? So again, this is very nice because this specific port, the orange one, it has already power inside of it. So it's a SATA with power already all in one. So it's very small. And for the operating system, which it doesn't need to do a lot of reads writes. If you put the log, the log partition somewhere else, it should handle that perfectly nice. So yeah, well, this is my quick review of the hardware. Again, this works for me. It has been working for me for all of these years with VMware, right? And now I'm going to give it another chance, or another, like a new horizons with Proxmox on a completely new hardware. So my previous cluster is going to be as it is today, but I just want to start exploring with this new hardware that I have over here. With all of that being said, let's take a look now into how we download Proxmox and how we install it on a Supermicro or probably in any other server that it has IPMI, right? Or it has like iDRAC, ILO, and so on. It will be something similar, right? We will need to load the ISO file, and then once we have the ISO file, we will present it and we will install it on this specific SATA DOM. Or if you had already storage, which I don't, if you had already storage, you will be able to install it and see the storage already. So yeah, let's take a look into this, and yeah, let's come back in a minute. So the first thing that we're gonna do is just log in into our Supermicro IPMI, our Supermicro out of the band UI, right? So let's take a look over here. And now let's introduce the user and password. The password, it should be the BMC password that the vendor can give it to you, or you can find it in the motherboard. The 4 NICs, the firmware revision seems pretty up to date. Everything, from July last year, 1.1b BIOS. I might take a look later on to see if I can update something, but for now, nothing is really relevant. What is relevant for me is just the remote console, right? Because that's what we're going to use to install the Proxmox, and I want to change this, not to use the Java, but to use, of course, HTML5 plugin, which Supermicro has since a couple of years already. Sensor readings, well, you can see the temperature is very, very nice at the moment. The fans are a bit too crazy for me, like 13,000 RPM. To me, that is too much. So we can change that in a minute. Let's take a look into configuration alerts. Okay, date and time. No, date and time, it seems very off, like July. Nope. I'm just going to do not use NTP because sometimes, you can lose the internet access or something, or you might not even have access to the internet or to the net, to the rest of the network. So I'm just going to put manually. That's fine. And now if I go, let's see where else. Network now it's using DHCP, but I'm going to change this to use an static IP, so I can, it's not going to change or anything. I know always that this server is the Supermicro that I will use for Proxmox in this case. Okay, I don't need to do anything else. That's fine. IPv4. You can set the host name here of the VMC, but I think for now I will just keep it empty. It's not really relevant to access this over FQDN, to be honest. Okay, it didn't change. Okay, number 70, and now I guess I will need to just log in into the new IP. Okay, I'm already on the new IP with IP 70. And what else? Oh, I always prefer to create my own user. The admin, it's good, and it's the password that you can find on the motherboard. But I prefer to just create a new one, which in my case, I'm just going to use one for Grafana, so I can just monitor this with my Telegraph using the IPMI plugin. Operator should be enough, but you can always, of course, just change it and then have administrator or have more users. Just completely up to you. In the case that the BMC password is too difficult or too long, right? Okay, SNMP, you can configure it, but I'm not going to do it right now. Fan mode, yes, please. It's full speed, 13,000 RPM. This is for a home lab. This is extremely noisy, so I'm just going to put power utilization effectiveness speed. So that's going to auto-regulate itself depending of the temperature. So summer can be a bit noisy, but I will change it for the Noctua. Syslog is not enabled because the license, and SSDP okay, it's enabled. So let's see what else now. I think it's time to present the virtual media. So I don't have anything right now emulating. Let's go to Proxmox website and we can see Proxmox VE 8.1, pretty recent, 7th of February, 2024. When you're seeing this video, maybe it will be like a newer version. Let's download this. And what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to take this ISO and I'm going to put it on a share folder that I have with all my ISOs. And I will present it to the Supermicro BMC. So the server can use it. As you can see, my share host, the path to the image, user and password for my share, nothing special over here. And I will say mounting it already, so everything that I'm going to do right now from the remote console, it has already that image presented itself. Okay, let's launch this console here, the HTML5 console. And as you can see over here, I'm going to reboot it, the server, so we can see the BIOS. Yeah, okay, it auto load already. Oh, there you go. That's the that's the splash of Supermicro. Always good to see it. And now it's already loading group. This is Proxmox. I'm going to install it with Graphical because this is the very first time I'm installing Proxmox. So I have not even tried it before. So I might have, later down the video, maybe some mistakes or something that it could be done better. But this is my first time, very first time with Proxmox. So let's see how all of this is. Perfect. Okay. Let this load. All the ISO. Nothing very different from other, hypervisors, bare metal, and so on. Okay, a nice wizard, which is telling me to read the EULA. It's not very long, or not as long as other products, so that's a good news. That's a good start. Okay, let's scroll over this. So let's scroll with the button or maybe with the mouse. Let me take a quick look over here. Yeah, I have access to it with the mouse, and then it's not that long, so a few points. Okay, I'm going to install it on that SATA DOM that I told you. So you can configure here your swap size and everything. Let's take a quick look into the file system. I'm not going to explain that much. You can just configure from here the different resilience for where you are going to install Proxmox. In my case, it's a SATA DOM, so it's not really resilient, and I don't have any absolutely anything for to configure RAID 0, RAID 1, and so on. I would recommend RAID 1 perhaps for production, of course. So choose two SSDs or something, or NVMe's. Okay. Yeah, language, as you saw. Password for the root user. This is very important, right? Later on, we are going to log in with user root, and this is the password that we are going to use on there. And then some email over here, perfect. And now it's the host name. You can select the interface where you want to present this Proxmox, right? The host itself. So I'm just going to put a host name already, but I'm going to use the nomenclature that I have for my lab, which is a bit like ESXi, zlon, 001, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to use it something similar, right? So PB zlon 001, and then the IP address, which is 70 or 71. It's just up to you. Remember that I'm using the 70 for the VMC port, so perhaps I can change this later on to 71. Anyways, I will not have both plugged at the same time because I have one NIC cable at the moment, so I don't have even two right now. And now here we go. It's going to start doing all the installation, and I'm going to accelerate the process so you don't need to wait here. Meanwhile, we see all the process, but without accelerating, this took around 7 minutes to install all the image on my SATA DOM, so that wasn't that bad. And in 7 minutes, everything was ready. But yeah, let's accelerate this, and yeah, let's talk in 10 seconds maybe. Okay, so now that this has finished, it's just a matter of giving a reboot. It was showing us there the IP, so we could connect. But anyways, it's going to now. I'm expecting to have like a splash image with the IP that we can connect and the port and so on, right? Like other hypervisors do, like Nutanix do, for example, or like VMware ESXi does as well. Let's take a look. It's loading. Supermicro. It should boot now, not from the virtual media, but from the disk. You can always change that, of course, on the BIOS if you want. Okay, yeah, it's going to boot up from the Proxmox, which is great, and hopefully will not take that much time. It should be pretty lightweight. As I mentioned at the beginning, I just had, when I was showing to you the server, I have a stick of 32 gigabytes of RAM only, but that should be enough to move the the basics of the hypervisor, and I'm expecting to add more modules later on. And here it goes. So I can access now the HTTPS, the IP70, 8006. So again, this is a small mistake because, of course, this is the same IP that I have for the IPMI. But anyways, I'm not going to use the same cable because I just have one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into this Proxmox, the virtual environment, on the IP70, and I'm going to switch it quickly to 71 so I can proceed and move with the demo. But anyways, you just grab the IP from here and you just go to your browser. So as I said, first time, and a few mistakes down the road. Anyways, I already changed it to the 71, so let's log in now, and let's take a quick exploration over here, because again, first time I'm opening this. So we can see here the resources view which this is very, very nice because we can see, for example, the number of CPUs, 16, AMD EPIC, 3251, 8-core processors, the Linux version, the kernel that it has, and we can see as well, 6.5, the RAM installed, which is 32 gigabytes of RAM. And by the way, we can see as well the HD space, which of course is just that SATA DOM. So it's 16 gig at the end, as I can see over there, minus the swap partition, I guess. The BIOS is telling us the boot mode is legacy BIOS. Perhaps we can harden that a bit on the Supermicro side. Some load or CPU usage, it does not have anything just yet because perhaps it's perhaps it's too new at the moment. I have not been doing much, and then I don't have the enterprise licensing, which should be okay. Some certificates, some DNS over here. You can add always a bit more. The hosts file, the time configuration, the syslog, a lot of messages here, which is we can always forward to a third party. Some options for the firewall. Again, this first time I'm seeing Proxmox or playing with Proxmox, so just bear with me. Some virtual net over here. This is the storage, as I can see, 2 storages here. Some ISO images, but I'm not going to load any ISO image from these 2 partitions because they are on my SATA DOM. So I will explore a bit more regarding disks and so on a bit further, maybe in another video. So I will not overwhelm you today with all of this. So this is the virtual nets and then the virtual net permissions. Directly from that net that is called local network, right? So you can see here under network and the local network, you can see that there's already a bridge, and that bridge is the one that you can see over here. What else from data center perspective? So as a data center perspective, we have software-defined networking. It seems more advanced, so I will need to play with this a bit later. It has IPAM as well, so that's very nice. For example, for DNS, we can add Power DNS. For IPAM, we can add networks or PHP IPAM. Controllers, we can add all of this, BGP and so on. It feels pretty advanced to me. What else? I can be clicking here around all day long, right? I don't think I can do anything much for this. It's just about the permissions and what can you do with the permissions for this specific virtual net for the local network, right? I guess you can harden this a bit later and perhaps play with the VLANs, as I can see on the right. But again, I'm going to give it a bigger play to this on another video, not in this video, because it will take us a long time. Well, and that's it. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope that you like the step-by-step of how we install Proxmox all together, with the ISO and then all the steps that we run after. And if you like it, yes, put some comments as per usual. If you have questions, leave the questions there. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. And if you like it, thumbs up, the normal things, right? So hopefully I'll see you in another videos. I will do more videos about Proxmox, about more configurations, more about the networking and so many other things like clusters and maybe with Ceph as well for the storage and so on. But for now, we'll leave it. We are going to leave it here. It was just a quick review for the hardware plus the basic installation of the hypervisor itself, Proxmox in this case. Thank you so much for watching and see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.